how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal, HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on, is it usually this? It's this. Here on Nerd Affiliated. Certain settings I've got to turn on, so I'm just doing that real quick. Happy to have you guys here with me today. My camera doesn't focus. This is your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. I said we sit back and relax. And hopefully by now you've poured yourself just a little bit of,
more specifically, vodka, whiskey,
I haven't poured it yet.
beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
As we cruise ever so nicely into another exciting weekend. Actually, Baja Blast, not from Taco Bell, from Supermarket. We're putting that in the drink today. Let's see if it actually tastes good. If you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit one more time.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Debatable choice, but I'm sticking to it. Yeah, so we have a fun show in store for all of you. As I mentioned last week, we're going to try something new with the links to join, so you guys can do that. But yeah, let's get the show on the road. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, it is me. It is me on the wrong screen. Yo soy el problema. It is me. Happy to see you guys here today. Definitely need to add some more Baja to that. Yeah. Happy to see you guys. Vodka Baja. Gin Baja. We're doing gin. Not really a vodka guy. Can't do it. Oh, wait. Am I... Always repping. There you go. But like I said, happy to have you guys here with me today. Oh yeah, T3. Did I do that for you already? I clicked on the link and it didn't let me leave a review unless I already did. But we'll talk about all that stuff afterwards. Let's get the shameless plugs out the way. Of course, nerdaffiliated.com, your one-stop shop for all things nerd affiliated, whether it's links to the latest videos, links to the different channels, links to the podcasts, all that fun stuff. But if you're into the Ghostbuster side of things, the real Nerdbusters, always over on Instagram. That's where my brain was going to that, and I was stopping myself. I'm like, that's not what you normally say, but you're going to say it anyway. Why are you saying that? TheRealNerdbusters.com and The Real Nerdbusters on Instagram. You can find us over there. Do I have a button for... I do have a button for that. Great. Yeah, so let's say hi to everybody in the chat, and then we will get the show on the road. Channel members, there's a link to join the stream in the membership community tab. So later on in the show, I will open the link up and you can join. And then Anthony also might join today as well. To be determined. But yeah, let's say hi to everybody first. Dave's Dimension in the house. Good to see you. Just saw you over in Henry's stream. I was over there with you. Ultra Carter Zilla in the house. Good to see you. Guys saying hi to each other. Got Tony in the house. Good to see you. As I mentioned, T3 in the house. Good to see you. He said, I'm here to give shit to my Captain America Brave New World hater, HeyArcher. We'll talk about that. HeyArcher, got my tools and talent GB belt. Oh, you ordered that? Hell yeah. Pretty damn nice, actually. It is. General Kenobi in the house. Good to see ya. Dave said, I'm with you. I'm going to go see it tomorrow. Looking forward to it, whether I'm right or wrong. I'm going into it hoping for the best. You guys saying hi to each other. And I'm starting not to like Taco Bell that much after trying Birria taco from Taco Trailer, which is way better than Taco Bell. All right. I've talked about this. I don't know if it was on my stream, if it was on T3's channel or Kenobi. It was between the three of us. Maybe it's a Spanish thing. I don't know. But Taco Bell definitely came up where I want to be clear. And my answer might be changed from previously on HeyArcher. I don't declare Taco Bell to be, I think I said otherwise before, but as I get closer to 40, I don't consider Taco Bell to be the greatest Mexican food of all time, right? Like if you were like, choose a Mexican restaurant or whatever, oh, my light died. If you're like, choose a, that's how you know I had a lot of meetings today when that thing dies. Hang on. If you're like, choose a Mexican restaurant, like as your last meal, it wouldn't be Taco Bell. It for sure would not be Taco Bell. But if you're like, choose your favorite, it's killing me. Hang on. Nah, battery died. All right, so I'm gonna have to change settings on the camera. If you're like, choose your favorite like junk food, it's Taco Bell. Like my favorite fast food, it's Taco Bell. Oh, I have another one. Whatever. That would be Taco Bell. Like favorite junk food, favorite fast food, it's Taco Bell. But as far as like Mexican food or Spanish food, it's never Taco Bell. That would not be my choice. Maybe, for fun. Sometimes maybe I'll say that, but I mean, I love Taco Bell. That's just my shit. But it wouldn't be my like preferred Mexican option. What I do miss, I'm gonna give a shout out to a local business in Weymouth, Massachusetts. There's a place called Cafe Ocho. Some of the best queso ever, like all time. So shout out to that place. Your fans missed you yesterday, General Kenobi. Yeah, I was wondering where you were. Kenobi didn't stream yesterday. Dave didn't stream on Tuesday. I'm like, what's going on here? What is happening? And then T3 said, give me a follow on Encore, and I'm also giving away a McFarlane Collector's Edition Superman. Wow. There you go. Kenobi said he took a break. Dada Films in the house. Good to see you. Look, Dave, don't be putting that propaganda in here. Don't be putting not Smite, God, I'm dumb. Not filth. There's a word that starts with an S, right? That's smut. Yeah, don't put that smut in here. K-Walk Comedy in the house. Good to see you. Love you, bro. Oh, for sure. T3 says, out of the theater reaction tonight for Captain America Brave New World. Awesome. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram for that. I assume you're going to do that on Instagram, so make sure you guys give him a follow there. Patrick in the house. Craft collects. Good to see you. Taco Bell is a Mexican food. It's all dehydrated stuff. I worked one day at Taco Bell in Oregon, and I quit after seeing dehydrated beans in the water. Yeah. Again, it's pure trash, and I love it. Absolutely love it. But I would never, if you were like, choose a Mexican restaurant for food, I would never say I'm going to choose Taco Bell for that. That's not going to happen. E3, EC in the house. Good to see you. I feel like I haven't been in a live in a while, so it's good to see you back. As I said to Nerdy, the taco trailer where I got my Bira taco will be my go-to place to get tacos from, especially the Bira tacos I ate and still loved. There you go. Yeah, taco trucks always hit different too, especially at like 2 a.m. Yeah, smut. That's what I was going for. We're saying hi to each other. Nerdy versus a Davey match now up on WrestleMania 41. I don't know what you mean. Oh snap! Thanks, Dave. Even though I'm only getting Eon since I don't care for Boogeyman. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's start talking some nerd shop here. Since you guys are talking about real Ghostbusters, we'll start with that. Why not? Why not? Shout out to Mega J Retro. He dropped the video this morning, and I mean, he almost got me. Shout out to you, Mega J. He was walking through how these images they shared are essentially like a story being told. He went slide by slide, pointing out everything here. So Mega J almost sold me on it, and one image in particular almost sold me on it. Where you at? This one. Because I didn't think they could actually sit in that position. So shout out to Mondo for getting these photos done. These photos are great. I maintain that for 6-inch figures, and we'll talk about another 6-inch figure, I maintain that $100 a pop is absolutely wild for these figures. $100 a pop, $200 if you end up getting the pack. And again, Mega J was going through the details here on Boogeyman, and it looks great. This exclusive head sculpt looks amazing. Everything here looks great. It all looks great. But I think normalizing $100 for a single figure is insanity. And I understand we do that with other companies, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I think normalizing $100 for an action figure is crazy, is absolutely crazy. Just to get the 4 of them is going to be $400. And who knows? I may be number one hypocrite, and at some point, maybe I see these in person, I see them at a show in person, or maybe somebody I know gets them, and then I take a look at them, and I'm like, oh, damn, I got to get it. Like, maybe that happens. That is fully possible. But there's no way in collecting at the moment, in my collecting habits, that I can justify $100 a figure, $200 for a 2-pack, $800 to get the whole wave. Can't do it. I just can't do it. As much as I want this version. And I was watching today Mad Hatter. Shout out to Mad Hatter Reviews. He dropped a video about the expensive action figures that have been coming out this week. And he also said it because we've all heard the whispers in the wind, and he probably has more connects now than he did, before. But part of the reason why these cost so much money is because they're being charged that much more to have the license. That's something that we speculated here on the channel. And he's even saying it. It's not like he watches our channel to know that I said it or somebody else said it. It's almost like official news at this point that part of the reason why these cost so much money is between Ghost Corps and Hasbro, somebody in there told them, we'll let you get the license to make these figures. It's going to cost you this much money to get the license. And as I mentioned last time I talked about this, and I'll die on this hill. It is insanity to me that you would see a license cost you that much money and you say, I'm going to go for it anyway and release a figure. You know, but that's part of the reason why I'm mad at this release is knowing that it's greed to why it's going to cost this much. And another, you know, playing devil's advocate for the side of Mondo here, something we talked about, you know, with other lines in the past. If I'm Mondo, I know I don't have a long lifespan with this collection. Once the 4 of them are out, I got nothing unless I decide to do a 12-inch wave of these figures. But aside from that, I need to get as much milk out of this cow as I can because I'm screwed after the 4 of these Ghostbusters drop. I got nothing left. So, you know, I just, in good conscience, I can't say that $100 for a 6-inch action figure is in my favor at all. I can't do it. But let's jump to the chat and see what you guys have to say about this. Let me scroll back up a bit. Who ordered the Maximum Spider? We'll talk about that for sure. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Guaranteed Jet in the house. Good to see you. You said, yo, power is out. Low power left on phone. Love the content. Brave New World was much better than I thought. Peace. Don't have power. Need battery. Got alarm clock. I hope you get your power back. And I appreciate that. Always appreciate you stopping by, of course. You skipped on Max Spidey. I skipped Max Spidey for just this Egon moment. At the moment, I think he meant. EC picked that up. T3 sharing the link. Dave says, Mafex, SH Figure Arts. The list goes on. All $100 plus 6-inch figures. And then EC said, yeah, these aren't Hasbro figures. So, when it comes to the Mafex and SH Figure Art argument, and by the way, I think you guys all know, if I disagree with you guys, it's not because I'm just like hating on you or something. So I'll throw that disclaimer out there. I think you guys already know that. Like, we're all friends. So again, I'm just going to throw out a disclaimer. I see this argument of the Mafex and the SH Figure Arts. With Mafex and with SH, and this ties into the Maximum Spider conversation. With the two of those lines, right? They've set themselves up out of the gate as these like premium companies where when you pay the money, you're getting everything. Are they overpriced? Yes, they're still overpriced. But cloth goods, crazy articulation, bunch of accessories, multiple heads, when you're spending like that $100 price point, for the most part, things are getting kind of crazy. Even with SH, Sal was asking me about the Max Power Kula figure that they dropped. That's $100 just for one figure. And I was like, nah. And he was like, oh yeah, no way. I'm looking at Gohan from Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan 1 Gohan from the Cell Saga. It's on sale now for $50 on Amazon. Normal price, I think, is like $75 or something like that. You know, like they really pushed that envelope. But I can still get base level characters, or at least some of the main characters from these franchises from SH, for like sub 50. Like, you still get a Gohan, you can get a Goku, whatever. Mafex, again, they set themselves up as like this premium company. Again, crazy accessories, articulation, the whole nine. With Mondo is owned currently by whatever company, whatever parent company it is that owns Funko. It's the same company. So you can't even argue it's an import thing because it's the same company who makes Funko Pops that's making these Mondo figures. So knowing that they make a 12-inch action figure at $200-ish, one, those are way overpriced to me because you're not getting soft goods. You're not getting crazy articulation. You're just getting animated version of whatever it is you liked. But fine. But knowing that they just are doing simple math, half the size, so half the price. No. You can get more out of the mold. You can fit more molds into the tray thing. Like $100 for a 6-inch Ghostbuster. Now we know it can sit down. Before we didn't know. Single jointed. I mean, it don't make sense. It does make sense on the one hand, we've talked about before. I've said that a lot today, but we talk about this stuff a lot. It makes sense on the one hand of, buy it once, buy it right. Like if you buy these 4 Ghostbusters of the real Ghostbusters, you probably don't need to buy them anymore. Like you're probably good. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to break the bank either to get these 4 Ghostbusters. I'm just speculating. I'm speculating. In my opinion, I seem to be in the minority here because the more time goes on, the more people are buying these Mondo figures. So I'm not out here with the understanding I'm going to change anybody's opinion. I'm just saying they could have got way more sales on this thing, and I don't know their sales numbers, but I'm telling you, if these things were $50 a pop even, like they would have sold gangbusters. It didn't have to be $100 for a figure. It didn't have to be. But I will say this, Mondo kills it with the detail and the quality. I've still yet to have a hold of Mondo in my hand. So from the videos, I put it this way. With the Mondo 12-inch figures from Spider-Man, X-Men, and Batman, from all the images, I was sold. I was going to buy a Batman. I was going to buy Cyclops. I was definitely going to buy animated series Spider-Man. I was going to buy Venom. And literally every review I've watched on every one of those figures has turned me off from buying those figures. It just does. For that price, knowing I don't have to worry about like texture ripping like on a hot toy. I don't have soft goods on this thing. Like, I don't understand why it still costs so much for the price. You're not getting crazy articulation. You can't hold crazy poses. They look great. They look great as a standalone thing. No doubts. But yeah, I mean, you guys like Mondo. You guys like Mondo. My Mondo 1/6 Gambit sold me on the company. Got to remember, Funko bought Mondo, and Funko buys up as many licenses as possible. Yeah. But that's also why I know that it didn't have to be that price. That knowing that Funko owns it, it didn't have to be that price. No way. I don't think so, pal. The 1,000 toys you added it, I guess. Halo figures or re-edition Halo figures, overpriced as fuck. They go for $160 to $210, which is not justified. And Noble 6 barely has a lot of paint on it for the amount it goes for. Yeah. So we've talked about this. Like, I'm on board with that concept. 1,000%. Buy the one version. Don't got to buy it ever again. I am here for that. The 4 turtles from the NECA 1990 movie. By the way, shout out to Legacy of Nerd. He interviewed Michelangelo, dropped the video today. The 1990 turtles are my favorite version of the turtles. When I think Ninja Turtles, that is the first version that comes to my head. The NECA 6-inch figures that came out are my definitive versions. If I had bought the 12-inch versions first, those would have been my definitives. I would have skipped on the 6-inch. But I ended up going with the 6-inch line. Would want to get the Foot Soldiers, get Shredder, get a whole bunch of other figures. So $60 for a 2-pack of figures. I was like, this is good. I'm set. Which again, Mondo's kind of screwed because they have even less runway to go with a line. But it's got to make sense. And buy it once, buy it right. I'm all in. But not at the sake of like like going broke, you know? I don't know. And I still maintain, if something happens and now you're stuck with 2 out of the 4, 3 out of the 4, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. Agreed. Yeah. Millennium in the house. Good to see you. Ouch. We love you, bro. Everyone has their own taste. It depends on your collections and what you're comfortable with spending. Yes, it's pricey. It depends on what you're willing to go for. Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%. We're saying hi to each other. Mondo's always been a high-end company. They have figures with soft goods. The price has to make sense. The man collects in the house. Good to see you. Everybody saying hi to each other. I love that. 100% buy. Nice for these. Mayfix Spider-Man over Marvel Legends. Hush Batman over McFarlane. But somehow I got multiple series of Optimus Prime and the boys. Exactly. Steve in the house. Good to see you. Exactly. So let's go over to the other toy that made news today. Hasbro announced the official price point of the Maximum Spider, which people went nuts for. I also enjoyed the announcement of it. We all speculated the price on it. We finally got it. The price was first announced in the comment section of a video. So I made sure to share that Toy Gains Maximum bullshit. The price point was announced yesterday in the comment section of their video that it will be 50 bones. And it went for sale today. After a couple hours, it actually did sell out. So first, just on that note there, this thing selling out does not mean it did gangbuster numbers. We do not know on any of these figures. We don't know what the order number was. How many of these were ordered, or did they pre-order at the factory that we all grabbed up the pre-orders for it? So to me, that's never the ultimate sign of this was a successful launch. But I'm still not oblivious to the fact that it's still sold out. So kudos. Now, 50 bones for this figure, right? Going back to the Ghostbuster Mondo conversation. This is a 6-inch figure. This comes with some accessories, right? The accessories you're seeing on screen right now. Hang on. Shout out to T3. Literally got this in the mail from him. And I paid markup for it, right? Like, that was one of the arguments I saw online. Oh, well, people will pay markup for something. Yeah, if you missed out, you didn't do your due diligence, and you gotta pay after the fact. That's just the name of the game. But at launch, this is a Spider-Man animated series figure. Again, most of us will assume definitive version of Spider-Man. You think Spider-Man, depending on your age, this is the version you think of. This Spider-Man, right, doesn't have all the articulation of this Maximum. Pretty damn close. I got web effects here. I got 3 sets of hands. 3. On the screen, you have slightly more articulation, 2 more web effects, 2 more sets of hands, alternate head sculpts, and you're going to tell me that that's worth double the retail cost of this. Double. That's my issue with Hasbro on this release. You've shown us what you can do for $25. So unless it's monumentally different, there's no way you can tell me that cost-wise to make sense, you had to price that at 50 bones. Now, with everything I'm talking about today, if you want to buy these figures, by all means, buy these figures, right? I'm not trying, again, I don't think I'm going to win anybody over on turning, I'm not going to make them change their mind. Like, your decision's made, right? I'm literally stating the fact as to why I think it's bullshit, why these are priced the way they are. This Spider-Man figure, right? We're going to assume they're going to be able to reuse this mold. They can use this mold for a lot of figures. They've done it in the past. We talk about it all the time. Chameleon. The Kane version, the Kane character in this wave. How many times can they reuse these molds? Honestly. Like, how many times can you reuse these? And you still managed to make this 25 bones. You still made this $25. So why does that one have to be 50? I am down for the concept of Hasbro. Mad Hatter was talking about the McDonald's Artisan series. He was talking about the McDonald's Artisan series where they tried to sell like a higher end hamburger and they charged more money for it and it failed. I am down for a Hasbro. And by the way, I'm not a Hasbro hater. You guys see me dick ride the Ghostbuster stuff all the time. I am back to HasLab, but everything else I've picked up and I've praised. I'm down for them saying we're going to have your standard release figures and we're going to have a higher end like collector series figure. I am down. In fact, they currently do that right now. You go to Walmart, you'll find those bullshit little like the kid version toys, right? Which is crazy to say there's kiddie versions of toys versus these. Sidebar, anybody who's like toys are for kids, 50 bones for this. You telling me this is for kids? Anyway, you go to the toy aisle, you have those Marvel figures that the articulation is like 5 points, right? Like the arm goes up and down, the leg goes up and down, the head turns left and right. You have those. We have our Marvel Legend type figures, right? With all the points of articulation. If you want to do a collector series wave or series, by all means, go for it. But don't give me something that is easily able to be a Marvel Legend standard release, because you make that. This can easily be a standard release figure and tell me it's worth twice the money. That makes zero sense. That makes zero sense. You want to treat this like a Star Wars deluxe figure, which that pricing was ridiculous, but concept wise, you want to treat this like a Star Wars deluxe figure where 35 bones, maybe 40 bones. You're like, hey, you get a couple of extra head sculpts and these web effects. Sure. But you can make web effects for $5. $5. You can make web effects. So don't give me that. Don't give me that. I'm sorry. No way. And this is the roll of the wire is $5. I can make probably 30 of these things, maybe 50 of these things. No way. I don't think so, pal. Because again, you're the company. Different conversation. Let's say this is a brand new company comes out of the gate. Brand new company out of left field. We're doing Spider-Man figures. We're doing Marvel figures. Our price point is $50. You know what? I don't know how much you pay for a license. I don't know anything about you. You know, where's your headquarters? Where's your factory? I don't know anything about. I mean, we don't know all the details of these companies, but realistically, you're a mom and pop company out of nowhere. To make your overhead, you got charged $50 for a Spider-Man figure. Sure. I will hear your argument. I will pay extra because you are a startup just getting the ball rolling. These guys are not that guy. They're not that guy. You know who they are? The ones that do already have the contracts, do already have the licenses, do already have the molds. So why does this one need to be twice? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Shardimus lost his shit today in a video. Like, oh, you guys are like, I can't even hear what he says half the time. It's the same shit. They literally are giving you the same shit they already give you. That could have been a standard release, and it would have been $25. But they're attempting something different. And somehow in their minds are like, we'll just tell them it's like a Mafex and they'll spend $50 on it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody do what you want. It's all your collection is your collection. But this one, to me, is bullshit. Is bullshit. And I'm sure it's a great figure. At the moment, it's bullshit. And the same concept applies to the Mondo Ghostbusters. The same company that somehow has to charge $10 for a figure that the only articulation is the head turning left and right. There's no reason why that Mondo Ghostbuster had to be $100 a figure. Zero. SH Figure Arts, you got me. I don't know what's another price point for you, because you guys are always around the same price point. Mondo, you're always around the same price point. I don't know. Maybe that's just what it costs you to make it. But I know that these companies don't have to charge that much. We know that. We know that. Imagine you go, here's simplest example I could think of. I buy this Mountain Dew for $1.25. And then Pepsi, who owns Mountain Dew, decides they're going to do a Baja Blast collector edition. It's got Star Wars on it. Shout out to the Phantom Menace release back in the day. Because we put Star Wars on it, it's the same Mountain Dew with a little extra zing. The $1.50 can is now $10. You know it's coming out of the same fucking tap. You know it's coming out of the tap. But you're going to spend the $10. You're like, oh, it's special edition, collector edition. I got to do it. But you know damn well it could still be $1.50 because they've already shown you they can effectively release things at $1.50. They have shown us they can release things at $25. They've shown us they can do it at $20. We've all accepted the fact that now it's $25. So why does it have to be $50 for some stupid ass head sculpt too? What version of Peter Parker is that? What version is that? Can I zoom in? Can't even zoom in. I'll go to the website. Now I'm getting hot. Now I'm getting heated. Back up for pre-order. See? Oh, sold out. I thought it was back. Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Who is that? Who is that? What version of Spider-Man is that? Why did you need to spend 50 bones? Or why does it need to cost us $50? Two articulation. I have that. A break at the quad. I have that. Double joint. I have that. Pinless. Elbow. Pinless. I have that. Swapping head sculpts. I have that. Now there's a break at the wrist or the forearm. Cool. But why does it have to be $50? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If this was some drastically different item, yeah, sure. You guys are taking a shot, stab in the dark. But this is something we already have. They're just repackaging it and convincing you it has to be $50. You know? You guys do you. Hasbro, you do you. You know I love you anyway. I just think I hate when these companies start taking advantage of people. Us, the loyal people that are here buying waves of stuff. When we get taken advantage of, that's when I get mad. Because like we're the one. It's not. It ain't kids that are. Where is it? Six figures on in this wave. It ain't kids buying the full wave of these things at $25 a pop. It ain't. It's us. And they know it's us. They've shown us what they can price it at. And they're like, I think we can get a little bit more out of them. I think we just get a little bit more. Come on, just a little bit more. Try it. That shit pisses me off. So fuck them. I'm sorry. On that one, again, anybody who buys it, enjoy. I'm sure it's going to be a great figure when you get it in hand. I cannot wait to watch the reviews online when people put these figures side by side with a standard release Spider-Man and go, fuck. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Literally the same thing. So, let me catch up on the comments. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to go that way, but the more I thought about it, the more it pissed me off. Everybody's saying hi to each other. What's crazy is I could see maybe 40, but 50 here, maybe a little Dululu from imports. Yeah. T3 says 50 isn't bad. I think it will get eventually, but I'll probably get it from a local store. If anything, yeah. Still need Chameleon, yeah. Hell, you guys know how I feel about that. I pre-ordered Chameleon the day it was announced. Everybody and their mom got Chameleon at fucking Target. What's the reward of pre-ordering outside? Excuse me, of saving money on gas. If I pre-order it, I should be getting it first. I gave you guaranteed money. Actually, Agent Venom, I had it on pre-order. I canceled it. All the reviews I saw, I was like, I'm good. Give me the right moment raging. I was tempted. All right. As I read comments, actually, I'm turning on the, for members, you can join the live stream if you want. There's a link in the community tab. Steve says he's tempted. Patrick says, if you get the Spider-Man, do you get another one? If you spend $50 with this as your first, do you need any other replacement heads, hands, effects going forward? If you have Spider-Man, do you need another one? I think we all know at this point with Spider-Man figures, you don't just get one. It's not that character. Definitive, like my Venom figure, right? Got an animated series version, not cell shaded. Pretty damn close. Do I need another one? Not really. I bought another one because I wanted to head swap, but I would have been fine with just the one. Spider-Man's not that character. Spider-Man, you're going to buy the different suits, animated version, live action version, RGB, Real Ghostbusters, for example, the one version. Chameleon, one version. Team Jugs in the house. Good to see you. I have 6 12-packs of the last Halo Infinite Mountain Dews. Will it appreciate in value? It might. By the way, Halo might be picked up by Paramount. By Netflix. So there's that. Danny in the house. Good to see you. What about the shareholders, Bob? Who's helping them out? Hasbro stock is down. It is down. God, I wish I got in Mountain Dew Halo Edition cans. That is PS5 Spider-Man. Big Bag Toy Store still has in stock, I think. Yeah, maybe. Did I say hi to Team Jugs? Hey, I'll sell you some in the spring so I can ship them out without them exploding. There you go. General audience in the house. I think this is your first time here. 35 is a reasonable price. 50 is too much. Yeah. And remember, they did that with Star Wars, right? We got the Black Series Deluxe ones. The first Deluxe that we all were kind of like going for was that Boba Fett. The first one that came out like 2022. And then what happened after that? The Deluxe boxes stayed the same. Less contents in the box. Started the shelf warm. Yeah, 50 is ridiculous for Hasbro Marvel Legends. That's what I'm saying. I do want to review the figure just for the point. Yeah. No thanks. I can't tell, Archer, are you in or out of Maximum Spider? I am down for... I started buying these cases from Michaels to house my figures after I unboxed them. And there's one case literally dedicated to just Spider-Man. I don't think you could ever have enough Spider-Man figures. Personally. $50 for a Marvel Legend. It's still a Marvel Legend at the end of the day. There was nothing they showed in that video that said otherwise. Nothing. Let me show you something real quick. That pose right there, I don't have any of my Renew Your Vows body mold Spideys, but I do have that animated series one unboxed, right? Main difference between this one and a full Renew Your Vows is that there's toe articulation. This one doesn't have any toe articulation. It's doing just a standard on his toes type of pose. If I had toe articulation, would have nailed it. Same thing. What's different? What's different? What's different? That's twice the price. I don't know. I don't know. As a Spider-Man collector, and actually Matt Hatter made a good point. This is kind of like the unofficial like McFarlane Spider-Man. You know, they couldn't put that name on it. I don't know why they couldn't, because they have a deal with McFarlane. But it's kind of the McFarlane Spider-Man, you know? There's just no reason why it had to be 50. It's a great figure. It's a great figure. No reason why it had to be 50. Outside of greed. Outside of greed. And they'll find out. They'll find out. This one will, obviously it sold well. But how many more maximums are you going to sell of different characters? I said it last time we talked about this. There's that wave of they want to do like the John Cena or Roman Reigns thing, where you go to a toy store, there's always going to be a Captain America, or there's always going to be an Iron Man or Spider-Man on the shelf. They were sold that was going to be a great idea. Clearance. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. You'll see shills like Shardmas praise this, even if it's terrible. You know, I only recently discovered Shardmas Prime. I found him. I remember Shardmas coming up in a conversation a long time ago on some random channel, and I never really looked into Shardmas Prime. I'm withholding shade. I almost threw shade. Anyway, I remember hearing about him, and then whatever, I was just like, not in my wheelhouse. And then as the channel developed and we started talking about the Hasbro stock and their earnings and all that stuff, I started to pay more attention to like interviews that they were doing where they're talking about molds and releases and whatnot. And he did an interview with Shardmas did an interview with Dan Young and the Marvel Legends team at like San Diego Comic-Con, I think, or something. And that was where I was like, oh, there's that guy. So I watched that interview. I don't think he shills as hard as people think he does. Somebody like what's that? The English guy? Bam, boom, boom. What's up, everybody? Like, who the fuck's that guy? That English guy. He's a shill. Like I like his channel from time to time, but he's not. If I just type in Marvel Legends review, Dan, isn't he also Dan Who? Is it Dan Who I'm thinking of? Yeah, Dan Who. Oh yeah, Dan Who. Yeah, Dan Who's a shill. He's a shill. Nice guy. I'm not saying he's a shitty person at all, but I would say Dan Who is a shill. I don't know if Shardmas is a shill. I've seen them get frustrated at Shardmas, like when he's asked questions. So I don't know about Shardmas. Dan Who, definitely. Don't forget to leave a like. Yeah, that's right. Don't forget to leave a like. And I also could care less about the Marvel Legends because they don't pose like I want and never liked the Bucky silhouette. Yeah. Yeah. You know, what about this channel here? I've never watched their videos. I only know them because of Toy Gains.
Right, and then my worst fears, we were talking about this Revotech fucking Street Fighter, and these, you're like,
do you guys watch Yo Joe Jerk? Because I watch Toy Gains, I watch Disavowed, but I've never watched this guy. Is he good? Is he fun? Because they do their Thursday night stream and they do their was it Monday stream? It's like the wrestling theme. Thursday Night Thunder, Monday Night Raw, whatever. Yeah, I was curious. Let me know. Okay, the other one that you guys wanted to talk about. A lot of Marvel today. A lot of Marvel is Cap. Brave New World. Brave New World. So the reviews are out for Brave New World, and it's not good. It's not good. I thought there would be let's go to our favorite, most reliable source for anything here, IGN. IGN gave it a 5. IGN gave it a 5. And I made a video on it. And I maintain that if IGN gives a Disney/Marvel release a 5, it has to be bad. It has to be bad. Because once again, they pretty much said that Last Jedi was like a damn near 10 out of 10. They gave it like a 9 something just cuz. But if they're giving the comment right there, they gave She-Hulk a 9, gave Penguin a 5. So they're giving it a 5. Can't be that good. It can't be that good. Still have Marvel fatigue. I don't think I've had a Marvel movie. Still have Marvel fatigue. I don't think I've had a Marvel movie I've been hyped for after Endgame. From there on, it's kind of shovelware or cash grabs. The last part is true. I don't think it's fatigue. I don't think it's fatigue. I think they just have done so many cash grabs and have put out so much trash that people are just kind of like over it. It's like Star Wars. I don't think there's no way somebody could tell me there's Star Wars fatigue. We've only had 6 movies over almost 50 years. So there's no way that it's fatigue of Star Wars. It's just there's so much bad Star Wars, people are just over it. Same I think here. What matters most? Paid reviews or reviewers or social media influencers or the actual audience score? All right. And I saw somebody, Anthony, I think, was trying to join and then jumped off. So if you have an issue, let me know. Okay. It is. Let me start with this. Dave and Dre had commented on my video about ignoring the reviewers and kind of going in with open mind to see a movie. I hear that. And this ties into what you were saying, T3. I hear the argument about ignoring reviewers to give something a shot on your own. Most notably, right? Like, my issue is you didn't see. I didn't see you. It rang and then it was like it was on there for like 30 seconds and it jumped off. Let me get this point out that I'll bring you on. Ninja Turtles 1990 was shit on by critics. Batman 89 kind of shit on by a lot of people. And they mentioned the Judge Dredd movie, the Carl Urban movie, shit on by critics. So I understand where critics can be wrong about a movie. However, reviews by reputable sources is still how most people figure out is something worth my time, effort, and money. That will never change. It will never change. It's evolved. We went from industry plant type Ebert and Roper, right? They came out of nowhere. They had a TV show, right? So you have people like that. That used to be the standard. Then we went into the YouTube era of reviews and the IGNs and the message board type pages that blew up and they became a source. And now we're just in the influencer stage. So you're always going to have a source of review for something. And most of the time you watch a review before you get something. Like, you don't go out and just buy the new iPhone without looking at a review, I don't think. I mean, maybe if your phone's that old, but usually you'll watch a review or read a review or something just to get an idea. Is it even decent? Should I buy the last year version? So reviews are always going to be a thing. And I think that we can't say that it's reviewers tanking these on purpose all the time. It's up to us to say, all right, I watched this person's reviews. I've watched these movies. I've agreed this many times. I've disagreed that many times. You know what? We're kind of on the same page. Or they're wrong every single time. I'm not watching the reviews. That is up to us to determine as a consumer. So I'll bring in Anthony, see what his thoughts are. The man, the myth, the legend. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Just ranting.
Yeah, that's usually my shtick.
It is. What are your thoughts on, before your thoughts on seeing the movie? What are your thoughts on reviews before going into a movie?
I generally avoid them if I can. I like to, as David said, I do like to make my own opinion. However, I'll give you some credit if somebody like Jeremy Johns because I think we like his reviews.
Yeah.
If he puts something out, I don't even think I follow him on Instagram or anything. I don't know if he has one, but say I saw something on his Instagram.
That's actually a great point because I don't think I follow him on any social media outside YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I see him say, the faces he makes. If he makes a face in one of the thumbnails, I'm gonna be like, ugh, maybe this isn't so good. I'll still generally go see it for myself, but like the Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff, that doesn't really hold any weight to me. But if a legitimate reviewer who's pretty fair were to put something out saying, yeah, this isn't really the best,
yeah,
I'll put some weight behind it. But I'll still ultimately eventually make my own opinion.
Yeah. I mean, hell, The Flash was not getting great reviews, and we still went to go see it.
Yeah,
like I saw it
opening weekend or something.
Yeah.
Night.
Yeah.
No, night. I saw it opening night.
So, but again, we're hardcores with this kind of stuff where the casual fan base of anything generally might check out a review or two, or even see if it's trending. I feel like a lot of people who went to go see Dune 2 went to go see it because it was like a trending thing to do.
Right.
Like Instagram is the new, or maybe even at this point, TikTok. It's the new water cooler. Like if something is not trending in your feed, it's not on your radar. So if a movie like Dune 2 is trending, Wicked is trending, you're like, oh, I'll check it out. Barbie, I'll go check it out because it's trending in your feed. And people are talking highly of it. Makes a difference. Now, I know the answer to this, but are you planning to see Brave New World this weekend?
Well, I keep trying to get an answer out of you guys, but yeah, I was thinking about going to try to see it this weekend so we can talk about it. But Whether I really try to do that depends on if anybody else in the chat, our chat rather, says that they're going to do it. This way we can talk about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to see it, even though like I haven't seen. I think I saw like the same IGN thing that everybody saw. I mean, I wasn't really too thrilled or too confident in this going into it, and then there were articles about how they were doing rewrites and reshoots and all this stuff. So I'm not holding out much hope for it, but I'm going to try to give it a shot.
Yeah. This is one where,
and that's like nothing to do. Sorry, that's nothing to do with Anthony Mackie or anything else. I just think Marvel is kind of lost its way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, think of it like this: why would you not be Captain America, right? Yeah. Like, there's no way he's not making this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't like blame him or anything if it's a bad movie necessarily. Like, if he had a whole ton of like behind the scenes influence, maybe, but I doubt that's the case. I don't really think any of the stars have that sort of thing except for Downey.
Yeah. The star power.
Yeah.
So somebody brought up a point in one of the comments, and I was like, I didn't even think about that. First of all, this was not in the comments, but I just thought about it. There's been so many movies announced that just have not come to pass. They're just DOA, right? Blade being my favorite.
Yeah.
Armory Wars is another one. So we've already had this whole thing of like something's released or something's announced, never happens. Based on the performance of the TV show Falcon and Winter Soldier, this should have just been a TV show. Like, whoever said, based on how that show performed, and here's the other thing too. If they are not looking at the how do I explain it? If they're not looking at the trending factors of their stuff when they make a decision, they're already being ignorant to reality.
Mm-hmm.
Falcon Winter Soldier, if it's not something that's being talked about, shared, like on a weekly basis, people are not talking about it online, the viewership is not there, what makes you think a movie is going to perform better? Like, it just that doesn't make any sense. You have a show like, let's take Agatha, for example, right? Agatha, you and me, I think, are on the same page. It should not be a movie. But I feel like Agatha was talked about more than Falcon and Winter Soldier in real time when they were both out. So, like, that not having any kind of traction, them deciding we're going to go forward with an actual full-on movie with full budget, we're opening the doors here, to me was a dumb decision. Absolutely dumb decision. We both liked the TV show. And I think Falcon remaining a ground level type hero in this day and age, that makes just for good TV shows. Something you put on, you enjoy it, you move on. Going full film on this, we're gonna start addressing, I'm not gonna say stuff because I don't know what you've watched or not watched trailer wise. I think it's just a dumb decision. Dumb decision. And John Campea thought the same thing. I was watching his show earlier today, and I was like, yeah, I noticed that too. It feels like they're pushing Thunderbolts more than they're pushing this movie. There's more Thunderbolts ads and sponsored things on social media than there's Captain America.
I'm actually more excited for Thunderbolts just because I want to see Bucky getting back to ass-kicking form.
Why is he not in this movie? Like,
yeah, because he'd steal the show.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's your problem.
I understand why they did it, but I think they messed up not going with handing him the shield. I understand his character wasn't ready to handle that or anything. His character was not remotely ready to become Captain America.
Right.
So I understand why they skipped him and went to Sam, but I don't know. It just.
Well, they did in the comics, right? So that's why they're like, we're going to commit to it here.
They did it. Well, they gave it to Bucky first in the comics, though.
Yeah, but not in current day and age.
Yeah.
You know, like in a post Miles Morales world, they immediately made Captain America an old man and gave Sam the Shield.
No, but that was after Bucky. So after Civil War, when spoilers for 20-year-old comic,
Mm-hmm.
after the first Civil War, when Cap dies,
Mm-hmm.
they do this whole thing where Tony Stark is the head of Shield, and he's trying to find a replacement Captain America. Bucky gets pissed off, goes to steal the shield. He confronts uh, Tony, and basically it comes down to Tony purges the Hydra stuff from his brain, and he takes over as Captain America because he's not going to let anybody else do it. I don't remember where Sam was at this point. I know he was a player, but I don't know why I don't remember why he wasn't in contention for the mantle.
Contention, yep.
But yeah, no, in modern, unless it's been revamped and lost, Bucky did a stint as Captain America, leading into all the return of Steve Rogers and all that stuff when there was a siege on New Asgard, I think, or maybe he came back after that, but around that time. And then yeah, after the whole thing, they did a whole thing where Steve was in like a Baron Zemo alternate dimension. They did the whole Man at a Time thing again. And I think towards when he came back at the conclusion of one of the stories, once he came back, then he got aged up. Then he gave Sam the shield, and that ultimately leads into Hydra Cap and all that stuff. But yeah, sorry, surprising. I had a long-winded answer, but no. In current continuity, Bucky was Captain America, and everybody knew because like Spider-Man even jokes, "Oh yeah, come on, Bucky Cap, we can do this," and he's like, "Stop calling me Bucky Cap," So there was a whole thing.
Well, I will say I did not know that happened in that time period, but it sure wasn't common knowledge. Not when they were pushing this stuff. Like this era was when it was like, hey guys, all the mantle passings happening at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Sam getting the shield, Riri Williams getting the Iron Man mantle, because they were like, oh, Miles did so well, so let's do it with everybody. So I think it's this era that they're like, this is what most people probably think of, so let's go that direction, when they didn't really have to. But I think we're all in agreement. Like the back and forth on the TV show between Bucky and Sam on who deserves it and who doesn't was really good. Like it's a valid thing to be occurring. And I think that when they ultimately decided to be Sam, fine, right? Because either way, somebody has to take it. But I think going into this movie, first of all, if that's still a plot point of this movie, which we kind of saw in the trailers, then what's the point of a TV show? Of like, do you deserve to be it or not? Like that was a storyline already. One. Yeah. Two, he needs Bucky. And you introduced freaking Wyatt Russell, not Patriot.
John Walker.
Awesome. The three of them on screen, it was great. With Zemo in there.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. That's a fun show. Why does this movie have none of those characters in it? And why? And based on trailers, I've avoided spoilers too, so I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm going. This is literally me just talking based on the poster, right? Yeah. It seems like they're going to address almost nothing from that show, and the show I think was actually setting up some decent storylines, especially the ending of the show. Yeah. So, to Danny's original point about the fatigue, I don't think it's fatigue. I think to your point, they lost their way. They set things up and they just never finish. They just don't finish, and they don't know. They can't get out their own way to determine what deserves to be a movie, a TV show, and what direction to go in it. But they are capable. I will say that. Today on Instagram, to promote tonight's show, I shared Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Disney Plus TV show, cartoon. That show was great. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, amazing show. Right now, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, it's awesome. First episode's The storyline happening right now is nothing new. Zero zero angle. How do I phrase this? Nothing that's happening in the Peter Parker storyline of this cartoon is original. In fact, we've seen this in the MCU and in other iterations without spoiling stuff. Nothing is new in the Peter Parker side of the story. The other characters are new, different versions of characters, whatever. But best believe this show is not just geared towards kids. Because literally in yesterday's episode, someone gets stabbed to death through the chest. Blood and all. It's a good show. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, good show. So Marvel is very, very capable. I think ultimately it's time for Kevin to go. Like, you've had your chances. We're getting duds. It's time to go. Kathleen's still there. We're done with that argument at this point. But it's time for Kevin to go. Like, you can't knock out, you can't give us a decent live action Marvel movie after what we just had with all these other ones. I'm sorry, man. It's over. It's over. Let me catch up with the comments. I'll give Captain America 4 a watch, but it's not high on my priority list, and I have to watch it around late February to early March. I don't know anyone that cares about this movie. I know the only people I know who care about this movie, T3 is actually probably in the theater right now. The only people I know that care about this movie, actually, I can think of a couple here in the chat. I know that you care about it, Dave. I know Drake cares about it. But everybody else outside of YouTube, the only ones I know that care about the movie are those that are like avid movie goers. Like, going to the theater is their jam. They go multiple times a month, at least once a month. And you're like, oh, I'm excited for another MCU movie to be in theaters. Like, that's what they're going for. Outside of that, I don't know anybody on a casual level that is like, oh, I can't wait to go see this movie. Those same people don't even know what Thunderbolts is. But that is actually, correction. I know casuals who don't know shit about Thunderbolts outside of, oh, it's the movie with Black Widow's sister, and I really like her as an actress. Or the Stranger Things guys in the movie, I want to go see the movie. Outside of that, I don't know any casuals that are like, I'm going to see Thunderbolts because it's MCU or because it's the Thunderbolts. Not a thing. An all new different was because they were Asian characters, and Secret Wars 2015 was really supposed to reset everything. Then they pulled an oopsie and didn't commit to the rest. Yeah. And then they did the whole, like, the universes converging, and somehow Miles survived, even though he's from a different universe. They need Bucky to be Winter Soldier Bucky again, so I don't think he'll become Bucky Cap ever in the MCU because all the actors are aging out too. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but up for debate again, I think, is should they reboot the MCU? I mean, I think we might really be at that point now. Because what, are you going to bring Chris Evans back now at this point? Anthony Mackie actually the other day was like, oh, I don't plan on being Cap for very long. Like, I'm not trying to be Cap at 50, so I don't know. Disney's a clean house. Yeah. Anthony dropped off, so we'll see if he comes back. Danny said, I like that point. Some shows are great, like Agatha and Vision. Others are meh, but scenarios where they kill awesome shows like the original Daredevil series and Punisher. Really sucks, man. I miss those shows. I mean, who knows? And actually, I'm going to add Anthony in and remove. Boom. Are you there?
Yeah, I was saying some stuff, and you were just like kept on talking to this, and I'm like, that's kind of rude. And then I noticed my the graph wasn't like acknowledging my voice. I was like, oh, okay. So had to hang up and come back in.
I thought you wanted to do something.
Real quick before you go on, what Stranger Thing actor is in Thunderbolts?
Red Guardian, David Harper.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Hopper. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Because I'm thinking of
the kids.
He can't have. Yeah, no, but I can't. I'm like, he can't have mistaken the guy playing fantastic Human Torch for summoning the Thunderbolts because
Oh no, no,
he's
no.
Stranger Things as well.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I forgot
Sorry.
about that.
And going back to what you were saying about them aging out, yeah, they are aging out. So I think Downey coming back for one last cash grab as a one and done, get it. Chris Evans staying retired, smart. I did see something where I was about to call him Bucky, where Sebastian Stan was like, I went from playing Donald Trump to Bucky. He's like, I'm 41. That was not easy, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I was saying before, well, you didn't hear me. I think Secret Wars, or is it still Secret Wars? It's everything. So much has changed. It's
Yeah.
Doomsday and then Secret War.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Secret Wars is their chance to do a soft reboot. Like, you have Battle World, you have the end of the multiverse, you have everything come back to a MCU, to a 616 universe only, or maybe there is a multiverse, but you ignore that, and you just say, "Oh, okay, this is the MCU." You have the Fantastic Four, you have an Iron Man who didn't die, like Thanos was still a thing, but you just leave it vague. You don't have to retread all that. There is an Iron Man coming around again, Steve Rogers, all that stuff. You can use that as an opportunity if you do it right. But like you kind of were saying before, timing and how somebody said in the chat, it's timing and commitment. You did the all-in Marvel, or that's DC. You did the, I forgot the name. You did the stuff in the comics, but nobody committed to it. You did these storylines in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but now you're going to rehash it. Oh, what gives you the right to be Captain America? Like, the guy handed me the fucking shield. That's what gives me the right, sir. Stuff like that. So I agree, but a soft reboot, because if they do a hard reboot, then I feel like we're going to get origin stories again. And, where Marvel really screwed up, they never set up, and they tried with Captain Marvel, but they didn't actually succeed in setting up a new Trinity, right?
Yeah.
That's
what
it really
they
comes
thought
down
they did
to.
by introducing people. They thought that was enough.
Yeah, they thought that was it, but like they needed to. Granted, they're a victim of their own timeline, but they should have. After Endgame, they probably should have. They tried to do it with Eternals, but then they should have taken the opportunity to introduce. I can't think of three characters, but a new Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, figuratively, not those characters, but pick your three. Like, make it Black Widow with Florence Pugh. Establish her as the ground level something. But yeah, they're a victim of their own success in a lot of ways, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's a story that, to me, that's a Disney story. I've been defending Disney more than I like to admit, because numbers are numbers. Like, we could shit on Star Wars all we want. It still makes money. And casual people don't watch this content, not the way that we do. So, yeah, we could trash every release that comes out. And there's, for every one video shitting on something Disney, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars, there's 100 people who are like, "Oh, there's a new Star Wars. Let's go see that this weekend." Who's in it? I don't know. Oh, there's a new MCU movie. All right, yeah, let's go see it. But the thing is, if they keep making bad movies, then over time, the people who are like, "Oh, let's go take time out of our day to go see this movie," that will dwindle. But it's never going to dwindle to the extent where it's like, whoa, red flags all over the place. Like, that's not. Hell, we got Eternals and nothing changed after that. So
yeah. Because also with the kids, like, at the end of the day, if you need something to go take your kid to be quiet for 2 hours, the parent will not, like, put a bucket of popcorn in front of the kid's face, maybe like hold a hand and then pass out, and and that's it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just look up something real quick before we wrap. This is.
While you're looking it up, I do want to say, going all the way back to when I came in, I'm very relieved about the the Spider-Man figure because when I saw the price point, I didn't want to. I don't like to say anything really about toys first,
Yeah.
which I know probably sounds like I'm hedging my bets or I want to make sure I'm in the right part of the conversation, but I don't want to say anything too soon because I don't know enough. So I kind of like to take in your guys' point, you and Steve and Louis, your guys' point of view and whatnot. Like I was very, I would like remember I was like, man, these on the Spider-Man with the Vulture, I was like, these shoulders are kind of sucky or weird, right? And when you guys were like, yeah, they do, I'm like, oh, I was right.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay. So I'm glad like that price point and like you were saying, I agree. Like why am I paying $50 for that? That's not animated Spider-Man. That's not some sort of like, Spider-Man with like the classic 1960s drawing head and, anything like that. So
Yeah.
I was relieved. I was relieved when I came on and I heard that part of the conversation.
It's just, I want, at the end of the day, with a lot of things, and my opinion has changed over the years. At the end of the day, I want things to have a casual appeal because I know that there's value in the casual fan base of anything. Like they're the ones that pushes over the edge. Like
Mhm.
for all of Endgame's success, that wasn't hardcore's. Like there's no way the hardcore fan base could have given it those numbers. Case in point, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That was all hardcores. And it just hit the profitable number from our elementary tracking of things. Just hit. Hardcores cannot hold up any franchise. They can keep it that's not true. They can hold it up to keep it alive to a certain extent, but there's only so much they can do. You need casuals to be in for them to say, I'm going to randomly buy a blank.
Yeah.
You said this phrase, I'll say it now. Case in point, Super 7, the owner of that company, Brian Flynn, he was like, I need to release a new Lionel figure for Thundercats like every 6 months. Why? Because that's what sells. I need the random person who's going to go to Target and say, that's the Thundercat figure. And he's the most recognizable character. There's a reason why Hasbro releases Optimus Prime every freaking 2 minutes. Most recognizable character. Being purchased by a random person who goes and is like, oh, there's that character. And as long as the price makes sense, they'll grab it. So when I see the $50 figure, I'm like, you're not doing yourself any favors to keep this thing alive at that price point. So I went online to Fandango and I pulled up Brave New World for 7:30 tomorrow, Friday night. Granted, it is Valentine's Day, but it's still a Friday night. And imagine, for a Marvel MC release, this is your Friday night theater. I pulled some other ones up that were closer to me, and I didn't want to dox myself. So I just went with Boston in general here. But, even here, like Cambridge. Let's see. Cambridge, Massachusetts. 7 p.m. Friday night. Didn't even get a full theater. And I don't mean full like in terms of how many people are there, like seating wise. Like this is yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on a delay. I can't see it on my phone. I'm waiting for it to show up on the TV. That's muted. That's bad.
Yeah, you go.
Wow. Yeah, they didn't do it any favors releasing like this is not a Valentine's Day movie. Like I think Deadpool was released around Valentine's Day, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was true. And just because it was Deadpool and like that did numbers, but like I don't understand. It's Captain America. Why isn't this movie releasing the weekend of July 4th? Like it seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
Like Batman fall is Batman. I don't know why. It's cold and Gotham's cold and wet the fall. Okay, makes sense to me.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't. If I am a surface level marketing person, I don't. Let's say I don't know shit, but I'm giving advice and somehow making millions of dollars a year. Again, the rest of us are doing it shitty. I don't know how to get one of those jobs, but if I'm thinking about this from surface level marketing, it's a black superhero. So I'm going to push it for Black History Month. And when do schools have vacation? Oh, that week? Yeah, so we're going to do the Friday before that because kids are off the entire week after that for President's Day week or winter break or whatever they call it.
Oh,
so let's make sure they have something to go see when they go to the theater. So again,
okay, that line of thought actually does make sense. I didn't realize next week was winter break.
Again, it makes sense from a surface level perspective. But like you said, Captain America, July 4th, hey, when is this TV show coming out or when is this thing coming out? Let's get it close to that so that way there's maybe some hype and X, Y, and Z. But no, this thing kind of stands alone. And the TV show for this was what? 2021 or 2020? So like
it may have been like end of 20, start of 21-ish. I feel like we were still under the COVID bullshit.
Yeah, we were. And I remember I was rushing out reviews. Like I was rushing out like Nerdy Coffee reviews before going to work and had just started going back to work in person. So it was 2020. So almost 5 years later after the TV show is when you decide follow-up movie. So
yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The one I'm most curious about, honestly, at this point is Mando and Grogu. I really want to see how that movie trends.
Man,
considering,
I'm so worried for that movie.
But I mean, talk about the biggest thing of 2020, or 2019, whenever that was. Like The Mandalorian season 1 was the hottest shit on TV, like Game of Thrones level shit. Maybe not that close. Probably.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's pretty close. We were pumped week to week, and we were pissed when it was a 30-minute episode versus a 42-minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that's safe. That's a fair comparison.
But then you get season 3.
Yeah, season 1 and 2, especially the way season 2 ended. I don't think Star Wars has been higher since the first movie release.
Exactly.
Like that was, people are pumped, people wanted more.
Yep.
And then and then they start losing focus. Book of Boba Fett, right? Because that came out before season 3.
Yep.
And then you thought you got hope for season 3 when in episode whatever where it was all a Mandalorian episode, and then season 3, as everybody knows, at a certain point became the Mandalorian and Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy. I like Bo-Katan. I like, obviously, Katie Sackhoff. I like her character. Cool. Make a show about her. Make a show about her and her fucking quest to reclaim Mandalore now. You're getting away from what this guy is. Like, that could have been, the end of season 3 could have been the Mandalorian movie.
Yeah.
Retake, and everything else. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's
head scratching. I don't know.
It is. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I
hope they bring it around, man. I don't want to be,
Yeah.
I think we're still pretty generous on this channel for the most part. Like, I don't like shitting on anything really, because I do know, obviously people put in time and effort and hard work, and nobody wants to put out a bad product. But it's like, at a certain point, you need a couple guys like us in the room to be like, what? Luke would never do that.
Yeah.
No. Rain, come here, and just smack.
Yeah.
No. Bad man. No.
Yeah. But now if you want to keep your job, you don't.
Well, that's the thing.
You don't push back if you want to keep your job.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. But that's why we can't. We have to be unpaid. We have to be
consultants.
Unpaid consultants who, But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared for how that's going to go.
Yeah. I'm the only thing I'm optimistic about when it comes to Marvel is on the movie side is Thunderbolts. I'm optimistic, although I as I pointed out the other day, it seems to be borrowing a lot from Suicide Squad. So, we'll see ultimately how it goes. But movie wise, that's the only one I'm looking forward to, even counting Star Wars and I mean actually Superman would be the number one thing I'm looking forward to. But from the Disney side of things, Thunderbolts is that. And but if I'm to rank every single thing this year, to Danny's point before, it's Daredevil. Like all signs point to Daredevil being absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Daredevil. I'd say Daredevil, the Spider-Man cartoon. Oh, on the Marvel side, Daredevil, the Spider-Man cartoon, and the Cap movie. Thunderbolts, I am excited for. That came out of nowhere, that excitement, and I didn't really realize it was still coming out this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel weird throwing it in there because I'm like a late comer on the bandwagon. And then obviously DC, all we really have is Superman this year, right? There's nothing else. There's no other animated shows or anything.
I believe Peacemaker's next year.
If he snuck in another season of Creature Commandos, I'd be very excited and happy with that.
Oh no, Peacemaker's August.
Oh, no kidding.
So there you go.
Ooh, all right. So DC has a chance to steal the back half of the year.
If Superman does well, that's Superman coming off of Penguin, going into Peacemaker, and if Peacemaker season 2 is great, DC wins the year.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we would say that DC Comics finally has a chance to overtake Marvel in popularity?
Yeah. And I mean, people are going to argue, oh, they're doing it now. They couldn't do it when Marvel was in its prime. Well, I mean, like, how often are two great competitors in their prime at the same time?
Same time.
You know?
Yeah. The Monday Night Wars
yes,
of
it does
wrestling
happen.
is a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, I think it's time for DC. I'm hopeful. I didn't want DC. I didn't want the DCEU to fail. I didn't want the Snyderverse to fail. I don't want another damn reboot, so I really don't want it to fail this time around.
Yeah.
Can't let it happen. And I mean, if Creature Commandos is the true first step, since that's the first 110% James Gunn thing, it's off to a solid start.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
before we wrap, doing my usual looking at toys I should not buy, there's one Star Wars thing that I saw, and then I'll finish the comments out. This one Star Wars thing I saw that was in a random tested video, like Adam Savage tested.
okay.
And I was like, fuck, that figure looks good. And that was this Balin Skull figure. And they were doing some photography just to show off like a lens. And they grabbed this figure to show it off. And I was like,
oh, damn.
I was like, hot damn. R.I.P.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, obviously that character, I know you want to wrap up, I'm sorry. Obviously his character has a lot to do in season 2 of Ahsoka. How do you recast?
They already did. It's one of the guys from Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Recent.
Wow, that head sculpt is fucking great.
Right?
Speaking of, my payments on the Batman, the Batfleck figure, are done this month, and I think it said like could be March at the earliest for a ship date, so I might have that in hand soon-ish.
I love that for you.
I'm very excited, and I'm very excited for those of you who watched my trap mod video. The PKE meter is on its way back to me, so I will soon have a 2 in the box again, in reality and not just in name only.
Yeah.
So,
And you're talking about the Batman Returns, right?
No. The Batfleck, the Ben Affleck version.
Oh, you bought that one. I thought you only got the Batman Returns.
No, don't you remember? I told you I bought Bat. Well, I'm sure I told you I bought the Batfleck. Uh,
Oh, yep, yep.
yeah, I can't send you a link because I'm on my phone and I'll
No,
lose
that's
the
fine. Yeah.
connection.
No, I
But
remember now.
yeah, and I did buy the Batman Returns figure. That's not the payments on that didn't even start yet, and I think they said fall for a possible ship date. You scrolled past it if you want to go back up the Batman Returns.
Yeah, you got the Returns. Yeah, that was down here, I
Yeah,
think.
I didn't. That's not the Batfleck I got though. I got him in the regular suit.
Yeah, you got the BVS one.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I think. And by the way, is he in the chat? Is Wes in the chat?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to have a conversation with Wes because I was. I'm just gonna say, jumping topics, shocker, I know. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I have a new video coming out uh, where we talk about getting into the DC Absolute Universe. So I just want to mention that before I forget. But for some more modifications, I reached out to Wes, and we were having a conversation. And turns out he and I have the same love for the Batfleck BVS suit, so that
Mm.
was cool. And he wants to possibly assault you for your views on Man of Steel. I don't know. Somebody may have told him that you're a hater. I don't know.
It's not that I'm a hater of Man of Steel. It's just that I have good taste in movies.
Yeah, well, agree to disagree.
um, and then actually, where is? I swear I just downloaded it. I was going to show the thumbnail for the
For tomorrow's video.
yeah, but now it's not popping up.
Yeah, figures.
Well, the video will be out tomorrow, so you guys can
Yeah,
make sure.
tomorrow 10 a.m.
Yeah, let me catch up on the
Uh,
chat real quick before we wrap. Um, saw that, saw that, saw that, saw that. I used to hold up Marvel as better at movies, but hit or miss on the shows, while DC was way better at animated shows and hit or miss on the movies. I forget that Danny also has good taste in this stuff. It's been a while since we've talked nerd things. There was that hot minute where DC was untouchable in the animated stuff, while Marvel was killing it on the live action. And yeah, I'm thinking back to when we had Justice League Unlimited and we had Young Justice going at the same time, Teen Titans, like they were on such a roll. And Marvel had a highlight with this is all in college, the college era. Marvel had the highlight with the Hulk versus two-pack movie. It was Hulk versus Thor and Hulk versus Wolverine, where we were like, wow, like they can put out good animated stuff, and then they just like tanked again after that. But yeah, for a long time, that's what it was. Marvel killing it in live action, DC killing it in animated, and then kind of shifted. Now my goodwill with Marvel has dwindled a lot to where it's just pure hit or miss on both sides. Yeah. Ultra says, I have no desire to watch Mando and Grogu movie as that. Mando season 3, the Book of Boba Fett made first 2 seasons of Mandalorian pointless. Yeah. Got to finish season 3. That's the thing. Imagine going back to 2020 when Mando season 1 was out. Imagine going back to yourself in a time machine. Being like, yo, are you enjoying Mandalorian? Yes. You think it's the greatest Star Wars ever? Yeah. You're not going to give a shit about season 3. You'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no. We'd be like, you're not real. You're not really me.
Yeah. No way. Hell yeah, Penguin was my show of the year last year. The edgier direction was pure bliss. I didn't love Penguin that much. I appreciated Penguin. I did think at certain points Penguin was I'll say it again. I've said it before. Penguin was a good mobster show. And it was a great Sopranos style homage. Not as good as Sopranos. So I don't think I'm high. But I feel like I feel like there's no part of that felt like it was DC, which I thought was a problem. I needed to have some sort of random tie-ins to be reminded I was watching a DC related thing, and I feel like there was none. Even if they were like I've said it. Sorry, I keep saying this phrase. I said it before on the show. Even if we got a couple instances where they're like, "Hey, we were doing this job," the fucking bat stopped something just to know I'm still in that universe. Would have made a difference to me. Good show. Colin Farrell killed it, and I really do want season 2, but I don't hold that in higher regard than like X-Men 97. If I'm talking shows of the year. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, X-Men 97, I don't think any of us really could have planned or expected it to
out of nowhere.
That was like, yeah, like, come on. That you felt like you were a kid again watching it.
Yeah,
personally.
exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
You know, like crazy. Just, and the way they ended it, didn't see that. I don't think they would not have had the balls to do that in the 90s. So I'm glad they waited till now. But yeah.
Yeah. And Danny said, "You just miss Henry Cavill. You can't have him back. Need him for Warhammer." Actually, apparently, well, I think we are getting him in Warhammer. I know he had arguments with. Oh no, he had the arguments with the Witcher people, but we're getting him in Warhammer.
I heard there might have been arguments with Warhammer people too.
Actually, yeah. The more I'm talking this out, I think you're right. Yeah. So I think he's still in it, but there was fights. But he was off filming Voltron actually. So
I saw that post. Voltron's That's crazy. Yeah, I somehow did not know that they were filming a friggin' live action Voltron movie.
Yeah. Geek Strong in the house.
They're gonna have the balls to do a like the Megazord, just have a guy in a Megazord costume instead of CGI.
Yeah. Geek Strong picked up the popcorn bucket video coming later tonight. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Geek Strong for that. Everybody saying hi to him. Any last words before we wrap today's episode?
No, just like I said, tomorrow there's going to be a new video. This weekend, a couple items are coming in from Wes, so I'll do an unboxing to show you guys what the next steps are for the Trapped, and I'm going to go back and do some mods on the Proton Pack. I haven't touched that in a while. Last year was dominated by the Proton Rifle, but it's time to relocate a couple of those, the 84 and the Rumble Motor Switch, and just give some love to the Proton Pack. And then I have to decide, there is something in the box coming from Wes that'll tie into this year's Comic-Con, but I don't know if I'm ready to say what just yet.
That needs to be an awesome reveal. Like on this side of the fence, we know what you are going for this or going as this year, but you guys got me feeling shitty about myself, man. I gotta figure this out for this.
Well, honestly, the idea you said, there's nothing wrong with the idea that you said. Just commit to it. Like, go, you can do it.
I don't even remember what it was.
I'll tell you off camera, because if I say it here, then...
Is it the cop one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
It's easy.
And it's easy. Absolute Collecting in the house. I believe your first time on the show. Good to see you. Doing well, yes. You came in at the end. We're wrapping up, but yeah, I want. I don't know if this is the year. Hopefully by next year, got to start doing more shows. Like the last couple of years, Comic-Con was the only show I've been doing versus pre-COVID, where I was going to like 8 conventions a year. So it might not be this year, but I definitely got to up the conventions and start mixing up the cosplay outside of just Ghostbusters.
Yeah, not this year, but next year, I would definitely be willing to look into. I mean, even Rhode Island Comic Con, that's pretty close to you and far enough for me to be a road trip weekend event thing.
Yeah. Got to do Rhode
So,
Island. Got to do Dragon Con in Atlanta. Atlanta's killing it. They got Dragon Con and they got Joe Fest. Both of those getting very popular. MegaCon in Orlando. We could see Aaron Waller and see West Great Scott Prop Shop down there.
Somebody asked me, they're like, "Would you ever do San Diego Comic Con?"
That's what I mentioned.
It's like, would I want to? Just because it's San Diego Comic Con? Yeah. Will it ever happen? Probably not, because just how like those tickets are insanely priced, right?
Here's my thing on San Diego. San Diego Comic Con is the show I would do if we got popular enough that we can go as guests. Then I would commit to it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard no good things about the logistics of San Diego Comic Con. Like, people are just like it's a nightmare.
And all that.
As far as like New York Comic Con is like, you live there. I no longer live there. As somebody now who has to commute to New York Comic Con, it's not the easiest. San Diego apparently is way worse. So that's what I've heard about it. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to go to San Diego Comic Con, I want to be going with like some stuff comped for me to get there.
Yeah.
Or even stay. But that's me being bougie on that end. Everything else though, Dragon Con, ICCC, MegaCon, those definitely got to start making those a thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. I appreciate you joining. If nobody joined, I was going to unbox Chameleon. I might still unbox him off camera and talk about it. But it's funny, looking at this figure, people brought this up, and I was like, man, you guys are absolutely correct. Two misses with this figure. One, him coming with a mask, while cool, not accurate to any part of his costume. Like, the belt is literally what made him change what he looked like. So L number one is the mask. Two, people are like, why didn't he come with extras of the belt? Because then you can put that on literally any of your Marvel Legend figures and be like,
Man,
ooh, that must be Chameleon. You know?
that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Nice little.
But I still look forward to unboxing that one. It's going to be a good time. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Danny said, it's okay. Not even New York City likes New York City. Yeah, it's true. And Craft Collects. That's right. Patrick's down there in Florida. But I think you're far from Orlando, right? You're not close to Orlando. We say I come through to MegaCon. Yeah, got to do that. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Nerdy Coffee. I haven't done one in a while. Maybe next week I'll do one or two. So stay tuned for that. More unboxings, more reviews coming down the pipe. Anthony has a video dropping tomorrow. I actually dropped a Ghostbuster short of some mods I did to the Ghost Traps. Check that out. And I've been spending my time working on electronics and burning shit out. So in the future, there'll be some videos about some more cosplay stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, join the memberships. We appreciate all of you guys for helping to keep this channel alive. And we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. We're out of here.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.